Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I'm here today with a very, very special guest, somebody that I looked forward to talk to for a while now. And he showed up in my world a couple of months, I would say like 4, 5, 6 months ago, maybe, I don't remember. And I think we are absolutely spirits on a very similar path. And we might be cut out the same chunk of wood. So I'm very excited to introduce you, Aby. And we had a lot of back and forth to get this interview going. But today we are here, and I am probably the most excited person in this room and amongst all of us. So, Aby, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
And
you.
I would
Thank
love
you.
you to just introduce yourself in a couple of sentences to my audience. Tell my people, who are you? And then when they want to know more about you, they can definitely find everything about you on your YouTube channel, which we will talk about at the end. So, Aby, go ahead. Who are you?
Now I can go on a very absolute definition of who are you and all gibberish spirituality, but let's make it very normal. My name is Aby Vohra, and I was born in India uh, in a very poor background, and then I live my life in Dubai and Singapore, earning and chasing success. But then at the age of 28, at the age of 29, I got awakened because I lost all my business in Dubai, and I was reading one book at that time, and I got awakened. And shift, that awakening shift took me almost around 11 years to intensify. And from that moment, uh, the materialism don't resonate with me, but whatever happened in my life, the inner being took the lead, and now I'm functioning less and less from my mind. So my operation of life is shifted from mind to being, and then nowadays I just rest in my being, and whatever purpose need to carry it out in the outer world, it's been carried out through my mind body. Uh, at present, I'm retired in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, from 2016 onwards with my family. I stay in a place called Desa Park City in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So this is myself.
Wonderful. I never heard of the place where you live, but one day I have to come more east. It's one of the places where I was never. I'm traveling. You guys can see it. I'm still in my RV, and I traveled a lot, but never to the east. And so that's still on my list. It will happen for sure.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Ruka. Anytime, anytime.
Oh,
I'm your
I
host.
hold you to that. I hold you to that. So Aby, what is really fascinating to me is the way that you talk about spiritual awakening and how how you use your story to really point people in the right direction, like to really make it so clear to understand what it is and also what it is not. And so there is a lot of books written, and there's a lot of talks about spiritual awakening and enlightenment and all the things that seekers are seeking for. But in your opinion or in your life, what is spiritual awakening? What does it really mean?
Spiritual awakening is the shift in your consciousness where you started living your life from your inner being, what Jesus called even kingdom of heaven, which is the inner being. Hindu call it Atman, call it soul also. So your operation, you live your operation of life shift from your mind to the being. What I mean is, The thinking, your mind, the judgmental mind, the analytical mind stops, and whatever decisions of life come from some inner knowing. So your mind is not occupied all the time with the judgment and analysis. So spiritual awakening is basically the feeling realization of your inner being all the time. So right now, when I'm talking to Rivka, my mind is surrendered within my being, but my speaking happening. I'm conscious, I'm present in this moment, but my attention is rooted in my being. So we could almost say that my mind is merged inside God, but while doing this worldly activity of speaking to Rivka.
Yeah.
So that is basically spiritual awakening is, where your attention not always is outside in your mind, but it is rooted in your being.
Yeah.
Like how the trees is rooted in the ground. So the storms of thoughts and emotions don't uproot that tree.
Yeah, I so resonate with that. For me, it gave me permission to think the same way. Like for me, because it is something that I always knew, and I also lived like when I was a kid and a teenager, that is how I would have lived. And I had to shift out of that was for me the normal, but I had to shift out of that to comply with everything around me. And then you have to you have to. And what I really and I want to add to this because I listen to your videos, and I would recommend everybody who's watching us right now to really go to Aby's channel. And I usually don't do that to really promote somebody that way, because I don't want to be about promoting, but I want to be about knowing that how much it did for me, listening to his words and how he phrases, how he talks about awakening is just so on point for me, that I imagine that there are other people out there that would really benefit from listening to you. So what you also said in one of your videos is that the outer purpose concerns doing, and that is what changes over time, so that you go from doing to being, like that your purpose, like there's like the looking outside, that is like with a spiritual awakening, it shifts like going inside. Like a lot of people think a spiritual awakening is an awakening, like a one-time thing, and all of a sudden you're enlightened. But you explain it a little bit different, so I would love to hear your words about that.
My words about the outer purpose, how the outer purpose change after spiritual
Yes,
awakening, right?
yes,
Because
yes.
I lost you in between.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, how your other purpose, like how it shifts, but it's not like a one-time thing. Like it's like a, a process. It shifts and it goes inward.
Yes. So there are two kind of process a person go when there is a liberation happens. One is spiritual awakening, which is a process. It takes long time, where there is a separation of thinking from awareness. It's almost like a process, how a butterfly goes through from caterpillar, right? A caterpillar transform into butterfly. So that is spiritual awakening. And the second process is spiritual enlightenment, where some of the sages and some of the people of the world goes through. That happens in instance. So their their life operation transform from their mind to being, but it happened in instance. It happened in a minute, in an hour, or in one day, and the whole universe revealed itself to them. So now, why somebody go to spiritual awakening and why somebody go to spiritual enlightenment? That depends on your past karma. And the karma is a huge topic which I discuss in some of my videos, and I'm going to keep discussing later also. In fact, I already scripted some of the videos on karma for my subscribers, which I'm going to put in coming weeks. So spiritual enlightenment and spiritual awakening depends upon your past karma, the past birth karma. But you cannot do anything about karma, what it is, what it is. But as per your question, once you are spiritually awakened, once you go through that process, what happens is whatever resonates with you in your life, don't resonate with me anymore, and don't resonate with ourselves anymore. Your habits, your intentions, your careers falls down, and whatever you love in the past, whatever you like in the past, suddenly you start hating it. Your friends fall down, attend parties, whatever it is. You think, am I going crazy? What happens to me? And that question your mind makes all the time, because your mind is dying now, because your life operation is shifting from your mind to being, and your mind dying, and while dying your mind is making all the strategies and all the tantrum to again re-identify yourself with it. So your life is such a hell that you oscillate between peace and anxiety, peace and anxiety. And you said, what the hell, what happened to me? I was very good when I was competitive and chasing behind success and making money. I was good, man. I wanted to go back. So that is your mind. That is your mind telling you that man, this is too much painful. And here that on the so that's one mind. The mind is telling, let me go back to the same stages. But here is your being which is calling you from within. Said, so it's calling Rivka, just be,
Yeah.
come back, rest in me. So here there are two forces confusing you. So
Yeah.
your outer purpose, which is your profession or career, changes because you are not more interested in the materialism, earning money and chasing success. Or you could say that that is not the vehicle
Yeah.
which you can drive in this state of consciousness. So now this state of awareness, the newfound consciousness, need another profession or career to express itself fully, because you cannot express your newfound consciousness in the same old profession. At least I cannot. I was a real estate entrepreneur and I've always chased behind the money and success in Dubai and Singapore, but I left it. It took me time where my mind really tortured me. But whenever after awakening, I used to go again to start those commercial businesses, I was faced by fierce grace, sufferings. So, so first time I went, I got spotted with a brain tumor. Then the brain tumor take out from my side. They take out the brain tumor. And then after a few months again, I forgot, and I went again to start another venture. And the big back pain happened. That was like 4 years back pain. Then one time, one of the book healed me. I mentioned in my yesterday video. Then I broke my knee, both of the knee, crucial ligament, and I could not able to walk for 2 years.
Wow.
And after that, still I forgot in 2018. And then in an accident, I lost my rough cuff rotator muscle, shoulder. So I couldn't able to move my shoulder for almost 1.5 years. So it was hell. And after that, I absolutely let my mind surrender into being.
Yeah.
And this is how the transformation happens of your outer purpose, and you revolve into your inner purpose.
I think that a lot of people relate to this. And that's why for me it's so powerful to put that out there, because it's the part that most, or the teachers that I am connected to, not really focus on. And I understand that, because that's the past. And so you don't want to focus on the past. It's not like it's not doing any, it's not adding anything to the story in a way, because it's the past. It's, the story is over. But I also believe that in order to help, and that's where I'm coming from, I feel that's my purpose, to really help people that are in that push and pull and going through that hardship, that they can understand that it is part of the journey, and that it is a good sign, that it is not something, oh my God, no, I'm not on the right track. And they beat themselves up, and they think they're not meditating enough, and they think they're not having the right diet or whatever. They want to do all the things that are spiritually correct. And they want to get up at 4 a.m. and take the ice bath and do more, because they're still not there where they're like, there is no there, but at that moment you don't know that. And so I feel like it's important to tell people our story. My story is very similar. I didn't go to brain tumors, but I had other stuff that I had to go through. And so it is part of the journey, and it means you're on the right track. And if you feel like your job is not fulfilling you anymore and you need something else, it is your soul that is like speaking louder, and you're doing it right. You're doing it right. You're not doing it wrong. And I think it's important for those egos to hear that. So like shifting from like at the point where you understand that what you're doing, like your job, your real estate job, is not what you are going to do moving forward. It's a scary point. Like, how can we help people to move through that phase from letting go of a job that is like not serving you, and then shifting into where you really need to be? And how do you know what is going to be your journey? Like, it's not about, and I think that's also one of the important things, like it's not about go and sit on a mountaintop and meditate. That's not the shift. Well, a lot of people think like, when in 10 years I sell my business and then I'm gonna meditate. Like, how do you shift from the old job into a new job that can be fulfilling, job or work or
Okay.
whatever it is?
Okay. So how to shift from the old career to the new career?
Yes.
See, this will be a very naked answer because all I have read around hundreds of books, and because my main passion was reading books all the time before. I had a library at my home, and you won't believe how many success management, spiritual books I read, especially about finding your purpose and all this stuff. And but I'll tell you a very naked answer, which is the truth. Sometimes what happens that you are thrown away from your old career in a way that everything is going so good. So I was earning millions in Dubai in 2008. I had a company called Aby's Real Estate LLC, and being such a born in a poor neighborhood, I'm almost live in a shanty town in a slum, and then I become a millionaire. So at that time, it was like a huge thing because I want to always achieve. And what happened due to chasing success, me and my wife become very greedy. And I had a company called Abby's, and I used to have the employees. And I, instead of, because I was in my mind, I was in my ego, I never even real know what is spirituality as, or what is inner being, or what is kingdom of heaven. I don't even used to believe on all these things. So I kept greedy, and I investing in real estate projects. when I used to have from the money of my company we used to earn, I used to have around 22 employee at the time. And the recession happened was 2008. And I lost all my money. And then me and so many friends of mine, we are into this uh, legal battle with the developers who eat away our money. So in a way, you will be thrown out from your career. That's one possibility. So your door keeps shutting on your face. But now after that, you starting real estate business, the door keeps shutting on your face. That's the first thing. The second thing, what happened? You feel abhorrence towards the present career. Maybe it's a business or a job. You feel real abhorrence, and your mind don't understand that why I was loving this job. I was so competitive. I was so good. Now I am abhorring it. So that is the time to go back in your inner being and rest in your inner being. You don't need to meditate like specifically, meaning you say, oh, when I just leave everything and go for 1 year, though it might be helpful, like 1 year break is helpful, but you can build the practice where every day while you are talking, you are doing your worldly activities, you rest your mind within yourself, 80% attention putting within your inner chest while your eyes are open. 80% attention. And your mind get really calm, the conditioning get really, really dissolved, and you will get answer from within that what you need to do with your life.
Yeah.
And then your mind body instrument will be used to find out the new purpose. The best question you ask at that time is, and when you are very silent, where you are very calm, and when your mind is within yourself, what is the life want from me? What is the life want from me? And the second question you can ask that, don't ask how can I make my living. You ask, how can I make a life?
That's a
And
great
this is
love it, love it, love it.
and that this is always the case, Rivka, that the second process, this thing after spiritual awakening, will not give you that much name, fame, and money like we used to do it before. It will not give you that kind of uh, adrenaline pump, that kind of big deals. Because my mind always wanted that no, this is not. No, why are you doing this? Or I started helping couple of years back in spiritual. I used to give free session for 6 months. So people used to call me. I had a Facebook group, and I write an ebook. So people used to call me for a free session, and it was so fulfilling for me to take their call. So slowly, the life will reveal itself to you how your inner fulfillment, how what you're fulfilling. So basically, your outer purpose, your profession will intensify your inner purpose, meaning your outer profession will awaken you. And that's the sign.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So before what? That you're looking for outer purpose for success, your profession for success. Now choose your outer purpose after spiritual awakening that will intensify your awakening, that will intensify your liberation, that will take you to spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah. Yeah. That I again, like when you explain it, it is exactly what happened to me. And so I recognize it, and I know it's true. And what you say, it is so simple. It is so simple. It's not And the way it was for me, it's like I always tell people, like the last 10 years, it's not because you're good at something that you also have to do it. And that is something I fell for. People would reach out to me and would say, oh, we need your help because we have this problem and we need you to come in and solve it. And that always put me back where I already knew I didn't have to be. But because and now I want to come to the next point that I would love your thoughts about, is about how we deal with the environment that we live in. Like the same way that your work environment changes and it doesn't give you fulfillment anymore, the same thing is happening with your family and your friends. Like the people around you that are used to see you a certain way, you are for them, for your environment, you probably were the real estate agent who made millions in Dubai, and like that's your persona. And so all of a sudden, Aby doesn't relate to that anymore. But the people, they see you that way. So the minute they want to have a project, they call you and they say, Aby, we have a project. I'm just making it up, but that was how it happened to me. Like they call you, say, we have a project for you. Can you just, are you going to come in? And then there are the first, you say yes, you don't want to do it, say yes. And then the first times come, you say no. And then everybody's like, whoa, what's going on with that one? And it's so like that was a very difficult phase in my life. And so I would love to hear your words about that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. So what you are asking in another way, let me rephrase your question so even your audience can understand. What you are asking is, Rivka, that sometimes we are very passionate about something and we are successful into that profession because we are very passionate about it, and the world knows because of that field, that profession. And then once spiritual awakening happens to us, we are departing from that profession and we don't like that much, but still world try to involve us that, okay, give us your opinion, please come, you are expert into it, please give me this thing, right? That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
So actually, this is the most stupid question some of the motivational coach ask, and this is the stupid question, that identify your passion with what your friends and family is asking your support for. It's a very stupid thing they are.
No,
They
I
said,
know. Yes.
yeah. And then our mind thinks, yeah, I think for that thing, people are always this thing. So that's my mission and that's my calling. No,
Yes.
no, 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 no. That's not your mission. That's your calling. It's
I'm with
just that
you.
one. So
That's
yeah. So
point.
I
Yeah.
think I'm on the same page, right? I understand you.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
where I'm coming from. Like in the self-development world and all the what they call the self-develop, there is nothing to develop. Like that's also one of those things, like self-development. What do they mean, self-development? The self is perfect. So there's nothing to develop. But I mean, um, I always feel it like what you say, like those gurus say, what are you good at? And that's probably your passion. I disagree with that. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's not because you're good at something that you also have to do it. That's my phrase to my clients. And so but then they ask me the next question, and that's my question to you. So what is my passion then? What is my what do I have to do then? If it's not what I'm good at, what is it then?
See, it's what happened that once this awakening happens, other people who are into the mind and running the world will anyway approach you, and you just connect with your being, be present, connect with your being, and give them the advice. But the question is, choose. It comes, people choose your profession. The first way is when they're going in the college, and what is the super hit career at that time, where everybody from the college is going, they choose that. Okay. The second thing is they choose by what they are passionate about, as if the joy is not pouring from their being, that activity giving them the joy. So they said, what am I passionate about? Oh, let me go through it. That's the second option. But that second option, what they are passionate about and what they choose because of the people compulsion in the college, is not very different actually. They're one and the same thing, because if you're born in India, you tend to love cricket. It and you are very passionate about cricket. Doesn't mean you are going to go for cricket. If you're born in Canada, you love ice hockey. So it doesn't mean that you are passionate about ice hockey. It's a conditioning. It is what you're born in. But the third option really requires your attention after spiritual awakening. And the third option is, once you awaken spiritually and there is 1-2 years and the old profession is not resonating with you, again the question still asks, what life wants from me? What in the world which is necessary to be done? It's not about what I'm passionate about. What in the world need to be done, which really need to be done? Passionate or not passionate is not the question, because the point is that joy, which is the passion, comes from your being itself. So you have to, when you enjoy something, it's not that activity give you enjoyment. The joy come out from your being to that activity. So that enjoyment is the dynamic form of joy. So once you are connect with your being, that joy comes out. And then again, you ask the same thing for this third kind of profession, that how I can do which is required to be done, what life wants from me. And then it's not that third option your mind like to do. And now that's the worst thing. Your mind always don't like to do that. And your mind will say, no, I don't want to do it. First of all, it's very much tough, and I'm not even going to get 1% of money of what I was doing with the old profession. Even not 1%. So tough. But if you really free from your beingness, that this is what you need to create. First you create in your being, and that put that creation outside in the world. Then you go and create that to help the people, to help the world. But surrender of I would say, surrender the right to not choosing that option to your being. Because if you don't surrender of not choosing that option to your being, your mind will unchoose that option later. You understand what I'm telling you? It's a very deep thing.
100%. I get it. I get it. It's very.
So first of all, the third option is very tough, and you are seeing, your being is seeing that is required to do in the world. And your mind wanted to unchoose that option. But I said that once you are fully present, you surrender that unchoosing option to your being. And this is like kind of a must, that you must need to do it. Your mind don't want to do it, but this is a must. You need to do it.
Yeah.
And this is how you choose that third kind of option. It's like that option will destroy you. That third option will destroy your mind and ego.
Yes.
So if you're it's a very depressing thing I'm going to talk about right now, that if you're going for the third option to achieve something, to become something, to be something, no, then this is not going to work out. You go through the option to that third option just to realize the being, intensify the being. So somebody choose some of the spiritual gurus or spiritual sages choose something to serve the world, and then their recognition, influence grow worldwide. Or in some other profession, some social entrepreneurship, and they start and their influence grow, because not because they wanted to grow their influence, but they are working selflessly.
Yeah.
So some of the sages says that it's like this: the spiritual awakening is like a flower that, so it will bloom in the jungle, and you don't advertise, you don't give in the newspaper, but millions of bees flows to the flower from the all of the world
Yeah.
without any advertising, without any marketing.
Yeah, I think this is so important to understand how the mind works. Like, as much as everything is, there's nothing to know, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to be. On the other hand, what I truly believe is that knowing what is going on and knowing the process intellectually can help you get through it. Like, if you understand, like people understand it in the gym. Let's say you go to the gym, you don't expect to have build muscles in 24 hours. And everybody knows that it is not going to happen. So people are relaxed. They know they go to the gym and it's not going to happen right away. And they keep going to the gym and they will have the results. But with spiritual awakening, the mind says, this is not good for you. And people say, I don't have to do this because I have this feeling that it is not good for me and it's not on my path. You know what I mean? And people say, I'm going to give up. But if you understand that that whisper, it's not good for you, is part of the process, then it's like going to the gym. You will understand that you have to keep going. You have to keep going. And there will be this painful thing that you don't want to do. The thing that you don't want to do, look at it, because maybe that's exactly the one thing that you have to do, because the other stuff, you're so used to do it that your mind says, do it, do it, do it, because you're good at it or whatever. You get paid well for it. So all the reasons show up why you should do it, but it takes you away from your spiritual path. Like, and that's when I say spiritual path, it's not even what I mean. It's like, because it's unrolling anyway. But if you want to go a little bit fast, people say, how can I get faster? And I believe that getting faster, and the words don't do it justice, but is by understanding the process and allowing it to happen. And the peace comes from knowing that this is how it's going to happen. And that's why I think your explanations, your videos are so valuable, because you're very good at explaining the journey. This is what's going to happen. This is what your mind is going to do. This is how you're going to feel. This is how it's going to come from inside. And like the process that you explain, when you understand the process, it becomes so much easier to allow it to unfold. And that's why I think it's very important that we keep talking about it.
Yes, but the most important in any case is your primary purpose is again to connect with the being and let your mind stay in the being. So you come from the deeper dimension all the time. Because see, it's very simple. Those people who are in the world and the awakening did not happen to them. And if you are awakened, it's not I'm telling the awakening is the great thing. No, I'm just telling that if you have separated from the thought, you will never able to reverse your awakening. Your ego might delay the awakening, but you will never able to reverse the awakening. So whenever you're going to try to go again to that worldly path, you'll always suffer. But the people who are not awakened, they will not suffer. They will not even think about it because it's maybe not in their destiny. See, the enlightened sages, the highest aim, the goal of the enlightened sages. You know what is the highest goal of the enlightened sages, Rivka, in in this birth?
In this way, I what I would say, but I can be totally wrong, to bring awareness to the world, to like,
Yes, they will bring the awareness anyway because they are enlightened anyway, but their goal, they have also goal. They wanted to get out from the birth and death cycle. In
Yeah.
Hindu scripture, this is the greatest aim, that when they die, their Atma, their soul, the being, merge with the divinity,
Yeah.
merge with the God. They said that after dying, their Atma becomes one with Paramatma. So they don't get birth again. They call it samsara, meaning even if they are billionaire, they don't want to take another birth and come and suffer here. Are you aware about this?
I do, because I read all those, but I am not 100% sure that, like, I think there is another. I am not relating to that like 100%, because for me, I am very I think that we are already one with that. We are already one with that consciousness, like with the infinite spirit. We're already one. There's nothing to go. There's For me, it doesn't feel like it has to come back again. For me, I am that already, and I am living this earthly body, and that's why the spirit is just coming to and through me, and that's the
Right.
experience I have. But when I'm not here anymore, it's not like I'm have to reunite. I am that already. So that's a little
Right.
discrepancy in my feeling, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong or
No, no,
anything,
no. So
but
you
it's just how
exactly.
I
So that's,
feel.
I think we are talking. So once you realize that you are that awareness, this is in all the scriptures, the awareness, the enlightened sages is they are liberate. Why they call it liberation? They are liberated from the birth and death cycle. So coming back to this professional question, why it is related to it, meaning that if you are continuously in the cycle where your mind wanted to, after spiritual awakening, want to create this or that for the hankering behind the money, relationship, and recognition, you are under the karmic law. Because there are two kind of laws. One is the karmic law, and where is the law of consciousness. So when you are in your mind and you create anything from your mind, you are in the karmic law. The God, you are not on the God law. God even doesn't bother, because there are, let's say, millions of people are killed. Please understand, those millions. So there is a war going on right now. There is lots of disease going on. The COVID comes and everything. So there is a karmic law God has created. So everyone deserve what they are going through. But once you are devotionally want to realize the being, that awareness within, and you are so much in love to surrender to your being, to realize the kingdom of heaven within, then you come under the God's law, which is the conscious this thing. And once you come under that, you don't even need to think what you need to do in the life as an outer purpose. You will be guided. You just
Yeah.
surrender your mind within, and your mind body instrument will be guided.
Yes.
So the universe will act through you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And if it means to transform the world for something, you will transform the world. If
Correct.
it need to be just rest in being and do nothing, you will rest in being.
Yes. Yeah.
There are some of the enlightened sages which are there in India, which is this is for example, Jesus and Buddha. Jesus and Buddha are, they are doing karma to spread these messages. They are still not on a very higher awareness level. You won't believe this. This has been said in a book called Karma. Don't have consciousness So they need to do still work of spreading the message, Jesus and Buddha. But there are some enlightened sages who cannot even do the work. They are in some kind of trance into it, and you need to accept it. And they go come in the world, they just go out of the world unknown. They don't teach, they don't write books, they don't have their institution. It just they think few conscious thoughts and things will be happening. They just think few conscious thoughts, and some of the human being get that thoughts, and through that human being something will happen.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is surrender your mind to the beingness every moment, and then whatever has to happen as outer purpose, it will happen.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I know. And I think the one of the takeaways for me out of the conversation that we have is that it is something that is like, it's a process. It's not something that that you just decide, oh, today I am going to have a different life purpose than I had yesterday. I'm just going to go for it. I slept over it. In the middle of the night, it came to me. I'm going to leave everything behind. I'm going to do this now. And from now on, I have a different life. And that would be, that would be cool, but I don't think that's the reality. I think my whole life I get thrown in, I can go out. It's like what you discussed in one of your videos. It's like a pendulum, like a pendulum. Like it goes, like you go in and you go out, you go in. I was laughing when you were explaining that. I even took a note. Like it's like you go in, like it's really like you go from one side, from one extreme to the other extreme, and you keep going and keep until you find that balance. And once you're in that balance, you cannot even imagine anymore that you were in that. And for me, that's how it feels for me. Like, I don't, thank God, I don't have those extreme. I was there, I had those extremes, but I'm very blessed that I can just be in my.
So for us, because we are going through spiritual awakening because of our karma, let's say in past, but we don't know that it happened. But I need to pinpoint out that there are few very minority people where they go through spiritual enlightenment, and within 2, 3 or 4 days, they are presented with that knowing about their outer purpose. But very few people.
Yeah.
But majority, 99.99%, they go through the process. Yes.
Yeah. And again, like that's exactly the point. There will be people where it happens in an instant, whatever. There will be people, but they're very, like you say, it's a minority. And so most of the people are waiting for that moment, while they're probably not meant to have that moment. While they're just meant to go through the process, and they're disappointed because they don't get to their moment. And that's why they miss out. They miss out because they're so focused on getting that moment that they are like that they don't go anywhere. You know what I mean? And which is
Exactly.
painful. It is painful.
Yes, and people are addicted on some experience. So if you got an amazing experience of awakening and you are in bliss, on another time again and again. And if you are addicted to that experience, you lost interest in the ordinary life, which is extraordinary. And that we should not addict to any experience of that bliss, because that is still in the past.
Yes, it's not exactly. You can't go and get it back. You cannot. You have to be here and then get it in every moment of life, like all the time. All right, I think we're already like an hour in it, so I want to make sure that we respect everybody's time here. So Aby, I would love you to give us like your last words. Like, what would be a message that you feel that we have to end this interview with?
Before that, I tell you, I like to ask you that don't worry about time. If you have any questions, I'm here. So if you have any question written in the diary, God has given me some amazing time and I'm blessed with good amount of time. I'm not going to act, I'm busy. So I'm going to insist. If you have any question, you can ask. If you don't have question, yes, I can reply to what you said.
Okay. I'm fine, but I think that a lot of people that are watching our videos will have questions. And I will suggest that if they have a question, that they put it in the comments below. And then Abby will see it or I will see it. And then we will get back to you on that question. I think that would be a fair way to answer all the questions that come up because of this talk.
Right. So can you again refresh your question?
I would love for you to give us like one thing that you feel like you have to add to this conversation that would be of that could support the people that are on this spiritual awakening journey and that they have to hear in this moment.
Okay. So when I got awakened, my first awakening in August 2008, I have got to many ashrams, read many books, I met many people, and that was 15 years back. So if I awaken today, I would not waste that 15 years, which nothing supposed to happen, should not supposed to happen, but I would not waste that 15 years and I will only be or do this. And this is it. This is the understanding you need to have it, or you guys need to have it if you wanted to realize that power which is called which is called God within you. Jesus said, "Be still and know that I am God." And Jesus said, "Realize the kingdom of heaven within you, and everything else is added to you." So what I want to say is the God, the being, kingdom of heaven, Atma is all within you, inside you. That's why you have been given this body to awaken spiritually on this birth. So you go within your body. So the sun, the grace is already within you, 24/7, inside your being, as your being. But what you're lacking, the second thing, what you're lacking is the devotion to surrender your mind into the being. This is the one thing you are lacking. And unless and until you will not made up your mind to surrender to your being, the reality of God will always elude you. Because nowadays, people are telling to live in the present moment. So all Westerners had made this present moment like this. They keep their attention out and they enjoy whatever they wanted to do. They party, they booze, they do every havoc on the planet and said, I am on the present moment. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about the past. But no, you have to learn from your past sometimes. So the present moment is not keeping your attention out. Present moment is surrender your mind the once you surrender your mind to the being, then you are really in the present moment. In that state, once your mind totally surrender into being, you will not even think. The knowing happens to you, meaning you will perceive the outside world without thought. So, for example, you feel, hear the silence, feel the space, and I'm seeing this camera I am seeing that wall without thinking, just a perception. So once you connect with your being, you will perceive the world without thinking. And that is called the knowing. And once you live from your being, once you live from the surrendered state within, where your mind is fully surrendered, your life will be operated by this knowing without the analysis and judgment of the mind. So first is the inner purpose, where you surrender your mind to being, and everything will be added, as Jesus said. And that's, my friend, is my message to you.
It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Oh my God, Avi, this is so spot on. I think I never heard anybody say that how you can, that being in the moment or being in the now is not about being in the moment and now outside, but inside. I never heard anybody making that analogy, and I think it's very powerful.
So
Very, very.
on the contrast, I have spent the life like also this, in the law of attraction, always asking something to the universe, believing I am having it, and then feeling I am receiving it. Ask, believe, receive. I always was in that mind before. And I have achieved those things. I have achieved those things. But those things never give me joy of the being. Because those things is like a coin. I got the pleasure, the pain was waiting for me. When you create from the abundance of your being, not from your mind, there is a second part of coin is not there. So you create from the joy, there is no pain. When you create from your mind, there is pleasure and the pain is waiting. You got the Lamborghini, how to maintain the Lamborghini. You got the palace, and how to maintain that 25 rooms of the palace, hiring 25 people is waiting for you. So that's the pain. But when you create from your being, you certainly not create that 50-room palace, or you don't ask for the Lamborghini, but still you can create something beautiful for the millions of people, where millions of people will be fulfilled. And that anyway, prosperity will come to you.
Yeah.
So always create from the abundance and have the dynamic goal. Now, dynamic goal is like this, that my work is helping millions of people. It is affecting their lives. And not oh, I wanted to have $10 million in my account. I wanted to have a palace or a villa near the sea. I used to do that before in Dubai. But the static goal is not very empowering. So
No,
have the dynamic goal.
no, and I think once you're on this path and you're in it for a while, you also realize, or you know, that the beautiful villa at the water, whatever, is not going to it's not even the joy of that doesn't even come close to the joy that you have when you can just close your eyes and go within. So it's not
Oh,
even doing it anymore. Like, you can sit anywhere, close your eye, like
you
you don't even that's in my case. Like I'm living in my camper and I'm that's just, it's even more rewarding than being in, I had the beautiful house and whatever. So it's you start to understand that that's not going to do it anymore for you. The Lamborghini it's not going to make you happy.
yeah. So
It's
during
fun
in
to drive.
2008,
uh,
so during in 2008, when I was in egoistics, I had many properties on Palm Jumeirah. In Dubai there is an island, a man-made island they call will be fulfilled. But that was such a bottomless pit that it gave me so much pain of greed. So yes, you are right, Rivka. The joy of being connected with this deeper essence of you is incomparable joy than any pleasure of the world. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
100%. And I think once you really get that, then everything shifts for sure.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording for a sec, like for a minute, and I'm going to say, I just want to, the people that are watching this, I want to make sure that you get everything out of it that is possible for you. And I know that if you're listening, that it is what you're meant to do, that you will be, that you're drawn to it, and that there is something here that is going to help you on your spiritual path, that you will hear a couple of words that will help you, that will answer a question for you. So I'm very grateful for you, Abby, to take the time. And I apologize again for making it. It was it was really a journey to get to this interview. And usually that means that it is something very, very important to happen. So thank you so much for giving me and the people that are watching this your time.
Thank
And
you so much, Rivka, and to you know for taking so much pain to to bring me in this interview. I know how much we have interacted, and thanks a million, and God bless you for this conscious efforts.
I'm
Thank
so
you. God bless you, Rivka.